Over 70,000 people are leaving the Nevada desert right now as the Burning Man Festival comes to an end. And after another full year of viral, crazy, and creepy stories coming out of this event, I just thought we had to dive in. We have to do an episode. We have to talk about it, frankly. First of all, for those of you who are like, Reagan, what is Burning Man? Burning Man is a festival that happens in Nevada out in the desert in a place called Black Rock City. The area essentially becomes a city built and existing for a week, and then it is taken all apart, and everyone leaves, and it is supposed to go back to exactly the way it was before, meaning just desert. As attendees, you only have what you bring with you, so most people sleep in tents or RVs. Food is shared, essentially. You can't really buy or sell anything. There are tents with different activities happening in them, which we will get into in a moment. And there are lots of art exhibits and music at certain points, though it is not like Coachella where it is all about the music. Because of all of that, showers are limited or non-existent, dust storms are frequent, and drugs are commonplace. To those who love it, they see it as a safe space for freedom and self-expression and discovery. As for getting a visual of what Burning Man actually is, I thought that this TikTok did a good job of highlighting all. So this is them in a dust storm, because that happens a lot. Their whole little tent encampments just get destroyed, but then they fix them. And then it's like this when it's not dust storm. So it's like Coachella in the desert with probably more drugs, less music, and less showers.
Do you know what this thing is?
Stinky.
I wonder what it is with festivals and like having to wear long braids. You know, that's like everyone does that at every festival. Why? And just imagine all the dust in the braids. Ugh.
I don't like sand.
And the festival itself all started around this art sculpture of a burning man that these young guys burnt on a beach back in the 80s. And then it became like a phenomenon. At that time, they were burning this thing every year around the summer solstice. And so people started to come from all over. It got so big on the beaches out in California that they had to move it to the desert. Hence, now it has become this whole phenomenon all around the burning of the man, which I will get to at the end. Okay, here's just another Burning Man vibe video to really get the vibes. Oh, yeah. Yep. That's so fun. Because of the chaos that Burning Man always seems to be, at least what we see on social media, there are so many people just laughing and making TikToks about Burning Man, all as viewers, you know, in our comfy beds, just watching and scrolling these hilarious videos as they come out. Honestly, it was bringing everyone together.
I swear there isn't a Republican bone in my body, but when I see posts about Burning Man, I feel like a Republican.
The best part here were the comments underneath of it. Someone said, I whispered get a job with an intensity that makes me uncomfortable. Burning Man makes me want to file my taxes and pick up my dry cleaning. And the creative respondent said, emails HOA thanking them. And while there's a lot of laughter from those of us on the internet, or joy from those who actually attended the Burning Man, there is also a lot that Burning Man doesn't want to talk about. First of all, one of the core pillars early on with Burning Man and the whole vibe and aesthetic of it is that they're very anti-capitalist, anti-consumerism, all of that. But now it's full of influencers wearing thousands of dollars worth of outfits, which is just so poetic.
How much a week at Burning Man cost us, and was it worth it? My costumes alone cost $500.
Honestly, that's genuinely cheap compared to what I see other people wearing, but
Which shocked my husband since he had never seen anyone spend that much on Temu before.
okay, that makes sense. I was like, that $500 for outfits all week. Team outfits, okay.
Tickets were $575 each.
Tickets, $575 each. This used to be, you know, the food is free, everything's like kumbaya, but to get in, you gotta drop $600. The hypocrisy starts right away.
And the vehicle pass was $150. And since there's nothing in the desert, we had to either camp out or find an RV. The usual cost of an RV during Burning Man is $5,000 to $7,000. But we have to tow the trailer 1,200 miles from Los Angeles. And the gas cost us $1,000 round trip.
Really good for the environment, all that gas that they're all burning out into the desert. Not to mention all the things they said blaze that are also bad for the environment. But hey, we're not supposed to pay attention to that.
How dare you?
Was it worth it? Absolutely. It was my first time attending Burning Man, and honestly, I had no idea what to expect. There is so much to try, and it was just so overwhelming to see thousands and thousands of activities, hundreds of mutant vehicles, so many incredible people, crazy costumes, and amazing art installations.
This comment, watching from District 12. Yeah, that is how this feels. It feels so dystopian in a lot of ways. Consumerism at its finest. Congratulations, capitalism won. It did, and people are going. They're paying, see? In 1990, Burning Man was a $15 donation. Now tickets are $500 to $3,000. It has turned into the very thing it used to be against. Someone else said, I swear it's a social experiment to see how much rich people will pay to pretend they ended up stuck in a third world country for a week. I mean, that is unfortunately how this feels. It seems to have devolved in a lot of different respects to what it used to be for and now what it actually represents. Even specifically down to their outfits and the chains and the sequins and their food is all something that burners now call MOOP. And MOOP stands for matter out of place, which means that every single thing that they bring out onto the desert is considered MOOP because they're nothing supposed to be there. Heck, they're not supposed to be there. And so they are responsible for ensuring that no MOOP remains. But it does every year. So much so that local city ordinances, as well as the creators of Burning Man, have created a way to track it, to see how much MOOP is left over. And then if too much is left over, they aren't allowed back. Like Burning Man ceases to exist. The MOOP map is so funny. They're not allowed to have a certain amount of like square footage of MOOP left or else it's done. So they move the MOOP and the trash, essentially, which is just trash, out of Black Rock City and then into all the nearby cities. And then they're just filled with the MOOP because everyone just takes their trash and just like, it's disgusting.
Don't bring rhinestones, don't bring glitter because it could potentially become MOOP. However, I like that stuff.
MOOP means matter out of place, and it refers to basically anything left behind in the desert that doesn't belong there, that was brought there by people attending Burning Man. And it's basically the principle of leave no trace. Every year after Burning Man, they go through, like the township and the county of that area and land, they go through and they scout out each of those zones. And they figure out how much rich people left behind during Burning Man. And if any of, what is it? It's 1 square foot per acre. If you have more than 11 square feet per acre and 11 acres after Burning Man, the county shuts it down. We're not allowed to have burning anymore.
So if they leave behind more than 1 square foot per acre and a certain amount of those acres, then they get in trouble. That's actually so fascinating. But now the nearby towns hate this too because they just get the MOOP. The MOOP just moves from the desert to their local trash cans or city streets. One thing that's abundantly clear about Burning Man is that everyone there seems to be on some kind of quest or journey, which speaking of journeys, I too am on one, but for different reasons because I'm on a journey to clean up what I eat. And that is when I stumbled upon Masa chips, which is my favorite chip brand. I cannot say enough good things about them. First of all, did you guys know that all of your favorite chips and fries used to be cooked in beef tallow, like until the 90s? And then Big Food came in, they switched everything over to those cheap processed seed oils. And now seed oils make up 20% of what the average American eats every single day. A mind-blowing statistic. And that is one of the many reasons why I love Masa chips, because they went back to the old school way of doing things with just 3 ingredients: organic corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. No seed oils, no weird chemicals. Masa chips are truly the best snack. You can bring them traveling, you can bring them to festivals, but you have to make sure you bring the trash so you don't leave it behind as MOOP. Now, I love Masa chips, so do tens of thousands of other customers, and they've also been endorsed by industry-leading health and nutrition experts. So if you're ready to finally give Masa a try, just head to masachips.com/Conrad and use code Conrad for 25% off your first order. That's masachips.com/Conrad and use code Conrad for 25% off your first order. Enjoy the chips. You will love them. Now let's get back to this MOOP madness. One person said, Burning Man itself is MOOP. I mean, yeah, that's literally the whole point. Now, in addition to the MOOP predicament that they find themselves in, nudity is also acceptable and commonplace in many of the camps. Yet some people bring their kids. And for some reason, kids are completely allowed to be out there, which only gets crazier considering what I'm about to say next. Because another comment that I saw under one of the Burning Man videos said this: intrigued that their own governing body won't help sexual assault victims, refuse to help report it to police, calls them survivor without removing their assailant. And I started to see a more intense conversation about SA happening at Burning Man under lots and lots of comment sections. Eventually, I did stumble upon a TikTok of body cam footage from a police officer who went to Burning Man to try to investigate reports of sexual assault. And it was there that they were met with Burning Man Rangers because they have their own police force, which isn't actually a police force, but they kind of pretend that it is. And they were acting really weird, essentially restricting the officers from doing their job. It was just creepy, to say the least. And that is just one example of the depravity, frankly, because sexual immorality, though they certainly wouldn't call it that, is commonplace there. So much so that this year there was an orgy tent. But like all wicked and evil things, God has the last laugh. And for the sake of this event, the tent was destroyed by Mother Nature. So the dust storm came in and ruined the entire dome. Not today, Satan. Not today. It's just like you see that and so many people are like, oh, so this isn't like Coachella. Like this isn't just a music festival. It's like, no, it's not. Some people go and they have a nice little time. They look at some artwork, they sing some songs, they leave. Other people Very different experience. It's all encouraged, though. It's all welcome there. And again, there are kids that attend this.
You right to jail, right away. No trial, no nothing.
The comments, of course, just continued. Everyone just doesn't understand, and they acknowledge, though, that it looks creepy, that things feel off. Why does Burning Man feel like rich kids cosplaying being in a war zone? It does look like that. Why does it look like that? Is it some kind of ritual? The energy is so bad. A lot of people are seeing the videos of these weird, there's temples there. There's so many spiritual elements, whether or not people want to acknowledge it. Another person asked, do people ever break into the tents? And the creator, who was at Burning Man this year, responded and said, I've heard of it happening during the final weekend part, like when everyone is watching the man burn, so we lock our tents during those times. Naturally, because all of this ends with the annual burning of the man wooden effigy that is built every year only to be destroyed. This year, straight out of a horror movie, while it was set ablaze, a man was found dead in a pool of his own blood, and his death is being investigated as a homicide. Between the SA and the theft, and now a homicide added in, I'm not shocked that some of these free, self-governing humans end up showing the very worst of humanity. In so many respects, this feels like a ritual. Every single year, frankly, it does. It's even often described as a religious experience, even by non-religious people. They come there essentially lost, and then they walk away found, until the next year when they have to find themselves all over again, because there is a constant seeking, a constant searching that they believe they find there, only to then have to return. And frankly, it does break my heart to many of those who attend this because there is a clear thirst for something more. And because this is a spiritual event, I couldn't not talk about the opposite of the evil spirituality on display. Because even in a place like this, amongst idolatry and idol worship, God was still there and he was moving.
People say that this place is not demonic, that it's just for fun. But let me show you something.
Some Christian creators went there and they're just highlighting some of the things that they're seeing there. Pentagram. See, to pretend like this is not a spiritual experience is so bogus to me. It's such a lie. And again, it's such a way to bring people in like, no, there's nothing demonic. There's nothing scary about any of this. It's totally good. It's super heavy on the new age. It's super heavy on the spirituality. Again, even if they want to pretend that it's not.
They turn this place into a sacrifice, into an altar to Satan.
You look at the Burning Man. That itself is just this very creepy, it's a statue of a man just burning, and everyone around it just, they do little dances and it's so ritualistic and weird.
But it's at this place that we have seen God move the most and the most salvation.
But in all of that, there were some Christians out there who were still trying to bring people to Christ. Which honestly, I saw a lot of people being like, why would you even go there? And I get that it's a dark place, but also it's as clear as day that those people need this. So they're meeting them where they're at. I saw Christians there documenting baptisms, and people were coming to Christ, even at Burning Man. And it's just proof that even in the darkest places, there is still light. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. For other content, you can also follow me on Instagram and X, as well as our brand new comment section Instagram. I'll see you guys in the next episode.